Hey guys, Joe Venture here, and I'm on my way down to Des Moines, Iowa, and I'm driving a Ford F-150. So what is an electric car guy doing in a Ford F-150? Well, as it turns out, I'm on my way to the Des Moines Auto Show, which is probably what I guess would be a small version of the Chicago Auto Show or the Detroit Auto Show. And I mean a small version, but hey, that's cool that we have one. And so what's going on is, and the reason I'm in this F-150 is my Tesla's in the show. Now normally this show is just for dealers to bring vehicles to display to the public, but in the state of Iowa, Tesla is not allowed to have stores. And although it's unfortunate that Tesla is going to be closing a bunch of stores, we couldn't even have one in Iowa for the number of years that Tesla had stores in many locations. So anyway, what's going on is, since it was questionable whether or not Tesla could even bring a car to the show, and with all the things going on at Tesla, although we asked them to bring cars to the show, they weren't able to. So what's going on is the Iowa Clean Cities Coalition, which is part of the State of Iowa Economic Development, has got a display within the car show for electric vehicles. So this is great. So not only can the dealers just go ahead and bring electric cars on their own and have them in their display, but there'll be a separate area for the electric cars. And so that's where my Tesla Model 3 is sitting. It's in that display. The weather's been rather cold and harsh here in Iowa this spring. We still got snow on the ground, which is a little unusual, I would say, for this time of March. We're probably about 10 to 20 degrees below normal on our temps. So in fact, we were going to have snow last Thursday. The show started on Friday and it's running through today, which is Sunday. And so I needed to bring my car down Thursday for the show, but it was going to snow that day, so there were issues with getting the car into the building clean after washing it in the snowstorm. That was going to be pretty tough, so I brought it down on Wednesday. So I needed to have some transportation because I don't live in Des Moines to get back and forth, so I've got this F-150, and unfortunately, no, it's not a hybrid, and it's not a prototype electric vehicle. That would be really cool if it was, because we've all heard rumors about Rivian testing electric trucks using their powertrain in a Ford F-150 body, and no, this isn't that, and maybe those are Ford's test vehicles for future electric pickup, but again, no, this isn't that. This truck does have a few environmentally friendly features. It actually does shut the engine off at stoplights, which is a little disconcerting, but I got used to that back when I got my Prius back in 2007, because it was the first car I had that shut the gas motor off and then didn't turn it on until you got going through the intersection after you had stopped. So anyway, the other thing that's interesting about today's thing here with the Des Moines Auto Show is kind of the juxtaposition between the state of Iowa, which is siding with the auto dealers to block Tesla's store, but from being in Iowa, but another part of the Iowa government, the Iowa Clean Cities Coalition, is working to promote electric vehicles, and who's bigger in electric vehicles right now than Tesla? So it's kind of one part of the state versus the other part of the state. So I'm just glad that it was allowed into the show, and hopefully things will go smoothly today and we won't have any pushback. I haven't been down at the show, so other volunteers have been manning this booth for the Iowa Clean Cities Coalition. I'm going to be volunteering at the booth for a couple of hours to answer questions from the public about the car and that sort of thing, and in all electric cars. And since I've owned a Volt and an i3, and I keep up on all the different vehicles like the Leaf and the Hyundais and Kias and the EVs, and it'd be just amazing if there was a Hyundai or Kia EV there, but I really don't expect to see one. If there is, I'll be definitely shooting some video on that. So anyway, that's what I'm going down for. It's kind of an interesting event, and I'm glad to be part of it and glad to be able to help out, because it was kind of difficult and did require some logistics and inconvenience to get the car into the show, but I was glad to do it. This is the type of spirit that people who are into Tesla and electric vehicles have. So if you have an electric vehicle and you can do something like this in your area, this is what really makes a difference. Maybe I can't change single-handedly the public policy in Iowa and get them to allow Tesla stores or get the state to do for the utilities here necessarily to do more to put in EV charging infrastructure. But I can do things like this, like putting my car in this event and coming down and volunteering and helping out. And that's stuff that you can do too. So while it can be easy to get frustrated at all the lack of public policy and things that we'd all like to see for a cleaner, greener environment, there are some things we can do on our own that can't stop us from doing, that don't cost a whole lot, just take a little time and maybe a little inconvenience to do. So if you can, do something like that in your area, it makes you feel good. It does make a difference, because if you help a couple of people get into electric vehicles and then they help a couple more, and it just goes from there. So that's the power of doing things like this. So anyway, I may have some more video here to come from the show, and once I get down there. So for right now, I'll be back in a while.